Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Graceful Explosion Machine. Bit of an odd name for a game, but actually it's kind of an odd name in general. I don't know exactly what about the explosions is graceful, but we'll work with it. So we'll just hop straight on in. There's not that much to see outside in the menus. You can turn off the tips, the vibration, and you can change the sound levels. And you can see all of the controls and stuff, but the game tells you all of this, and I'll tell you all of this. So we'll just head straight to the level I've got unlocked. This is after about 2 hours of gameplay, and I've beaten every level in the first 2 areas, including somehow managing to get an A+ on this level here. And I also got an S here, which I honestly do not believe that. So yeah, that's after about 2 hours of play. I also tried out the 2 challenge modes, which you unlock via beating every level in a specific area, but we'll go play on level 3 first, just to give you an idea. So we'll hop straight into level 3-4. Every stage that I've played so far has 3 separate phases. These phases are basically just extra waves of enemies, and they aren't just like kill all the enemies that spawn the first time around and you win. They do have a bunch of respawns and stuff going on, so it's not particularly hard to understand. So what is Graceful Explosion Machine? Well, it's like a Defender clone, but it doesn't have much in the way of saving humans. It's just pure score attacking. You have access to 4 weapons at any one time, and these 4 weapons all have their own different effects. Your basic weapon is a blaster, and the blaster is not very useful. I mean, sure, it does take out everything that's directly in front of you, but not much else. And it has a cooldown period if you use it for too long. So you start to fire it slowly, and then the game won't let you fire it at all, which is a bit of a pain, but you can work with it. The game also has a bunch of other weapons. You just saw the missile launcher. The missile launcher locks onto enemies and does a fair amount of damage, not too much, but when you've got a ton of missiles going all over the place, it's great for taking out small hordes like these little green bastards. And they also can either be fired in bursts or fired constantly via holding down the missile button. And all the weapons are controlled via the 4 face buttons on either your Joy-Cons or your Pro Controller, which is what I'm playing on right now. The other 2 weapons are what you're seeing right now. The Energy Sword. The Energy Sword will take out anything within a small radius as well. It doesn't kill everything, but it kills a lot because it's like the strongest weapon you've got for short range stuff. And it also blocks bullets, which is a very useful feature, like intensely useful. Because in this sort of game where there's shit, when there's shit coming at you constantly, you need to be wary of bullets pretty much all the time. He says as he immediately ran into a bullet before. So what you want to be doing is you want to be very careful with using your energy sword. Wow, what the hell hit me there? This game's kind of got a problem with visibility, especially with things that get really close to you. Sometimes you won't see what the hell it is that hit you until it's too late to actually avoid the damn thing. Like that, and this goddamn explosion thing is infuriating too. This thing only just showed up on this level. And it's frustrating as hell because you need to beat it, then back the hell up. It's kind of annoying. But anyway, we have one more weapon to show off. It is the beam. The beam isn't very useful in the grand scheme of things, but it does let you take out really powerful enemies in a few shots. Some enemies do have shields, and these shields are very hard to get through with your typical weapons, but if you use the energy beam, you will cut through them like a hot knife through butter, which is very useful indeed. Every weapon except the blaster is powered via your energy meter down there, down the bottom of the screen. You recharge it by getting the energy crystals that your enemies will drop when you fight them. Very simple to understand concept. You do have a couple of extra moves, like for example, if you hit the ZL button, you will flip direction, and that will let you fire the other way. Just need to take out that thing up there, so I'll just use the missiles for directional fire. So when you use the ZL button, you turn. You do not turn instantly. So if you want to fire like up or down and you can control what way the ship moves, because it's actually... Really? It actually seems completely random what way you turn once you actually turn, which is a bit weird. There might be something to it, but I can't figure it out. I've been playing for 2 hours and I haven't got my head around it yet. Need that health. Just miss all of them. Grab the power. Immediately. Oh, jeez. I'm not in a good spot. Time to show off the other special move. The dash. The dash is on the ZR button. And the dash, while it won't let you go through enemy bullets, it will let you go through enemies. So if you're about to get attacked by a gigantic wall of green bastards, you can just warp right through, no questions asked. Very useful ability indeed. And that's it. Like, that's pretty much the entirety of the abilities and stuff that you get in this game, more or less. I mean, there's... I don't know if there are any more things that are in this game, but you have all of the moves that I've just gone over by the end of Stage 2. You have all of them. So, the way the game tries to keep its variety going is via the usage of variety of enemies and levels. The levels are a bit weird. I said this game was like Defender, and I wasn't kidding, because the way the levels in this game work is that they loop around endlessly. And they are actually modified between phases, so you might end up seeing like laser cannons or stuff show up in between phases. It can be quite frightening. So wandering into a path and then seeing that there's one of those goddamn things up the end, and you're kind of screwed if you don't get out of the situation immediately. And you can't actually run through the gigantic laser cannons of death. It's kind of frustrating, actually. Not that big of a deal, but nothing exactly to just ignore either. It can be quite difficult to deal with. And the stages go on like that, more or less. The main stages are filled with 8 regular stages, and then stage 9 is a warp zone stage where you have to deal with one giant wave of enemies and make it to the spawn of the warp crystal, which is filled in by, of course, defeating enemies, and then you get to move on to the level's challenges. So it is, as I said before, relying basically on the variety of the levels and the... It's relying on the variety of the levels and the variety of the enemies. And the enemies do get different. They do change. They do have different varieties. Like these ones here that fly away from my shots. These ones are indeed completely new to this stage. And there's just a bunch of things like that that are just, that sort of thing. Like the cave beasts that come out of the walls, those got introduced on level 2, I think. The green and blue ones that take 3 shots all got introduced on level 1. It's all fairly simple, just diversification over the course of time, really. Nothing too out of the ordinary. There is, of course, scoring, and scoring in this game is fairly simple. Every enemy you kill adds 0.1 to your multiplier, and basically your multiplier can go up almost as high as you can imagine, because I haven't been able to get the multiplier up past something like 16 or something ridiculous like that, and it just kept climbing. So that is definitely something that can keep the high scorers engaged for a while, because if you take a hit or you don't kill any enemies for a specific amount of time, you lose all of your multiplier. So you have to be constantly murdering everything. And that really is no exaggeration. You need to be on the move constantly. You need to use your boosts effectively. You need to do everything you can in order to stay on top of all these bloody things that are trying to eat you and cause you much pain and suffering. As you can see, I'm currently going through much pain and suffering myself. Thankfully, most levels in this game give you 2 lives, and you can restart at the phase you failed at. So it's not too hard to complete the game, but to get a high score is a completely different story. You keep your multiplier between phases. It'll stop the clock until the first wave of enemies have spawned. There's the cannon laser, by the way. Or the canyon laser, whatever the hell you want to call it. It sits there, it wanders across the screen, and it will drag you along with it, because you cannot get past it. You cannot pass it no matter what you do. You can go all the way around the other side, but you aren't getting past it. There's not really that much going for it in the way of variety outside of the different kinds of enemies, but even then, the levels themselves don't really feel any particularly different. They just tend to add a couple of extra obstacles along the way, at least as far as I've seen. There are a couple of special challenge modes, which I'll show off after I finish this stage here. But none of them are particularly interesting in the sense that it really adds to the game. It just gives you a, there's a time attack mode, which is basically, oh god damn it. There's a time attack mode, which is basically play every level in this one stage, which is like 8-something levels in a row, and do it as fast as you can with as high a score as you can, because there are online high score leaderboards for this game. Because if they weren't, I'd be very amazed, because having a game like this, which is entirely focused on score attacking, and then not having a online high score leaderboard is kind of ridiculous. It's weird. It would be very strange indeed. And you have harder versions of the warp levels from the end of the stage that are... they're basically harder to do. They last longer. And I just unlocked the 4th planet, which is Aurum Tau. There's probably, yeah, not that much different going on there. So let's head to the challenge mode. We'll play the 2nd level. Score Attack 2, as I said, it just goes through the entirety of the stages and has you finish them as fast as possible. It's not really that interesting. Here we are in the warp. Here we are in the warp stage for this stage. This is an enemy you first see in stage 2. It charges at you because it's a dick. And that's only if you hurt it enough, which is even more of a dick. Because it means it's kind of hard to take out all in one shot, which is a very annoying thing to have to deal with in this game. But it's not too bad. I mean, if you're willing to get over the fact that the game doesn't have that much in the way of variety, or in terms of just, you know, like your general level design, or just your general weapons, because again, you do get all your weapons by stage 3. That's all the game really gives. Damn it. How did I not have enough? Really? God damn it. Let's give that another shot. As you can see, I only got 20% of the way through that stage before I got my ass handed to me. See, it's a dick. It's a real dick. Gotta try and take it out before it pulls in its friends. Managed to get it through the wall, which was kind of impressive. But yeah, if you don't mind the lack of variety and you're looking for a score attack style game, this will do the trick. It runs really well, both on the handheld mode and in the portable mode. So that's perfectly fine. And while it can be hard to see, you can get used to it, and there are strategies that you can take to avoid making an idiot of yourself. It's entirely possible. He says as he immediately gets hit in the face by a bloody purple worm. But it's still a fun game. Nice and small too. It's 250 meg, something like that, so it'll fit on your Switch's internal storage with room to spare. Would I recommend it? I wouldn't recommend it to the sort of people who hate games that are basically about score attacking. Like, if you hate those sorts of games, please avoid this one like the plague. You will not enjoy it. But I mean, to everyone else, or to anyone who likes score attack games in general, I'd be more than happy to say, hey, you will probably get a kick out of this one. As you can see, I just hit 16 times multiplier. There are, of course, bonuses and stuff for getting through a wave unscathed, or, you know, not losing your multiplier. Which is fun and all that. Great for score attackers. Not that much in the way of people who like playing games for games. Of course, I just died again. I'm not entirely sure what hit me there, but I must have gotten charged by something. But yeah, there's not really that much else to see. You just have the same challenge modes across all the planets as far as I'm aware. And yeah, there's not really that much else to it. More levels, more enemies, more interesting levels would be great. But other than that, I don't really have that much to criticize about Graceful Explosion Machine. Maybe a colorblind mode might help. I don't know how badly someone with colorblindness would do in this game, but I could imagine there being some trouble going on there, so who knows, maybe I would recommend they put in the colorblind mode as well, but otherwise, Graceful Explosion Machine is pretty good. I got no problems with it. I'd recommend it if you aren't averse to score attacking and you just want to blow some shit up for a while. That sounds perfectly fine to me, so this has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.